welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'll be picking my April TBR. I've noticed in my past couple of videos, I filmed my February wrap up and my spring TBR list. I filmed those the same day, so I didn't get to actually look over it before editing it. And I've noticed that my mic keeps picking up a bunch of background staticky noises. So I'm trying to keep it as far away from my hair and my sweatshirt as possible. We'll see if that kind of helps it. But if any of you guys know anything about making videos and know how to prevent this from making a bunch of noise, let me know if you have tips and tricks. I would use my camera's audio, but it's super weird and picks up even worse background noise, what's happening in my apartment and outside of my apartment. So I would rather just use the mic and sync up the audio after the fact. So I've been doing that, but if the mic's gonna pick up a bunch of static and make a bunch of extra sounds that we don't want, I might have to look into getting a new mic or something that just isn't attached to my clothing and can get bumped by my hair and stuff. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Like I said, we are picking my April TBR, which is super weird to say out loud, but I will go ahead and pick 8 books using my TBR dice game. I have my 2 little dice here. We will go ahead and roll the dice and see what our first prompt is. We're just going to shake the dice and see what we get. 1 and 1. I believe that's a purple cover. Yes, purple on the cover. So let's go ahead and find a purple book. Okay, so I have a little stack here of purple on the cover that would work for our TBR. Since this is our first book going on the TBR, I am leaning a little bit more fantasy just because I'm in a fantasy mood right now. I have been trying to stick to our TBR for March, but the contemporaries just were not hitting. So fantasy is what we're feeling. So I'm going to pick one of these purple on the cover books. So I every time I get this prompt, I keep pulling my Vampire +1 because I do really want to read it, but I keep not picking it. I don't want to read it bad enough. But that is option number 1. Option number 2 is Thrown in the Dark. This one I got during Beguiled's grand opening. So I went their opening day and picked this one up. It has the pretty sprayed edges. I don't really know a ton about it, just that he is a demon dark lord villain guy, and she is bubbly and blonde and obnoxious, and they have to team up to solve something or fix something. So there's that one. And then my last option is actually a sequel. So this one is These Twisted Bonds. This one is the sequel to These Hollow Vows. So this one is book 2. We read These Hollow Vows earlier this year. Was that the beginning of this year? End of last year? I don't remember. I just remember being really surprised by the twist. And in reading fantasies a lot this month, I'm realizing I'm doing better when the books, I read the books closer together. I remember more. I enjoyed the story more because right now I'm reading Sky Shade, and that's the 3rd book in the Lightlark series. I read Nightbane 2 years ago. I don't know what the hell's happening. I'm not caught up. I don't understand. I'm confused. So with that being said, I think I'm going to do These Twisted Bonds. And also this one's a duology. There's only the 2 books. So if I finish this one, series is finished. And it's also it's chunky, but it's not terrible. I think it's 400 and something pages, under 500. Oh my God, trying to not spoil. Yeah, 476. This is not terrible. So I think we're going with this one. Okay, let's go ahead and roll for our second prompt. Okay, rolling for prompt number 2. 3 and 1. Pink on the cover. We love pink on the cover. Okay, let's go find a pink on the cover book. So pink on the cover was our second prompt. I have a couple here in front of me that I think would be good picks. So back at it again with the Vampire +1. This one has pink on the cover, so I figured why not put it in this section too. My next pull is actually the sequel to a series I started literally forever ago. And this is Steel Princess by Rena Kent. This is part of the Royal Elite series. So I've read book 1, left us on a little bit of a cliffhanger-ish, and I still have yet to pick up book 2. And I know that these are getting trad published super soon, so I need to get the ball rolling on not only like buying them, but reading them. You guys should read my books that I own because I own the first four. And I think there's six or eight. But I own like a good chunk of them. I've only read one. So this one is another contender. It's also a pretty skinny legend. I know that I breezed through the first book in the series really, really quick because it also is like 308. So super skinny legend, but it also is a like high school kind of bully-ish romance. Like they start off, this one I did not love because they start off with the girl, her name's Elsa. Um, we start with Elsa being like, oh my God, this guy's like ruining my life. And then like every time they interact for the first like three-ish chapters of the book, he's not being mean to her. He's not actually bullying her. She just doesn't like him. And then like when he is kind of bullying her, he like is teasing her. And I'm over here like, girl, like that's not, he's trying to flirt with you. He's just bad at flirting. But then they get in like a weird, I think it's like supposed to be like a fake relationship. I can't remember, but I should probably pick this up to like refresh my mind on where the series is headed because I did like it. I just don't remember anything about the first book besides being like, girl, this ain't a bully. He's not bullying you. It's not that bad. I mean, I also had just read Zodiac Academy at that point. So like anything bully romance is like so tame compared to that. So it's fine. Everything's fine. So this is a contender. Next up, we have Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I did put this in my spring TBR, so it would be really awesome to get to read it. But I don't know if I really want to start another new cowboy romance series. I think I'm going to try to focus on finishing the ones I'm already in the middle of before I pick up a new one. And then our last option for pink on the cover is Vicious by LJ Shen. I don't know a ton about this one. Interesting. Okay, so this one is about an artist named Amelia and Baron, who's a brilliant lawyer. And Amelia is Baron's best friend's ex-girlfriend. So they're kind of in like this little like off limits relationship where like she does not like him. He is down bad for her, but like doesn't want to break bro code. So that is where we are with Vicious, which sounds super interesting and super fun, but also like it's kind of chunky. I don't really know if there's that much to say. Yeah, 469 pages. I don't know if a contemporary romance needs to be that thick. I don't know if there needs to be this much. So I think with all that being said, I'm not going to start any new series right now. And that really leaves us with these two. I already put a fantasy on the TBR, so I think we're going to go with a contemporary and do Steel Princess. So we just picked our second book for the TBR. Let's go ahead and roll for our third prompt. 3 and 3. Lots of ones, lots of threes. Three, 1, 2, 3. So 3 and 3 gets us the author duo prompt, and I feel like I always struggle with this one. I feel like last time we did the next book in the Zodiac Academy series, which I do need to also pick that back up. Now that we're trying to get back on our shit about finishing series. Yep, that's one of them. That is one of them I should finish. But I feel like I have more author duo options. Like I think I can find more author duo options. So I'm gonna look, see what author duos I have. And if I don't have any other options, then I'll go Zodiac Academy. But I think I have options. So I shall be back. This is basically going to be the TBR sequels. So when looking at who all were my author duos, obviously Zodiac Academy was there. I also have some Christina Lauren books, which I'm very looking forward to because I like all of their books I've read so far. I just keep forgetting about the other ones that I have. We also had The Ravens, which is on our priority TBR. And then our other option is The Beginning, which is the first book in Cuxtall Academy. And so these ones obviously both have author duos. You can see by the names of the authors. But both of these are very fall coded to me. Like this one is set at the university with like a group of students. This one's set, I'm pretty sure, at like a university, an academy. Yeah. It doesn't say what age they are, but I'm pretty sure that they're like college age. So like School. This is school. That gives fall. So I remembered that I just finished Riftborn, and I have Duskbound right here. And this one's by an author duo. So I think we're going with Duskbound, which is the sequel to Riftborn, which I literally finished last month. So can I please get a round of applause for picking a book that I finished very recently instead of these other sequels where it's like, oh, I finished that book 4 years ago. I would like an award for immediately picking up the sequel. You'll see when I talk about my March reads if that's a great thing or if I'm just doing this out of obligation. I think you can already tell by the look on my face. This is an obligation pick. Riftborn was something. But I will say that in the wrap up for March because I'm going to need something to talk about in that video. Duskbound is going on the TBR. If the next prompt that I get is book in a series, I'm actually going to scream. Like, I'm just going to scream. That's the book. We're just reading me screaming because I'll be pissed. That was our third pick. So let's go ahead and roll for our fourth prompt. 2 and 5. So 2, 5. Pet pick. Oh my God, we love doing pet pick. So since we already have 2 fantasies and a romance, I think I might do a mystery thriller and have Bixby pick just because I want to read more mystery thrillers. I'd read The Legacies that was on my TBR in March and devoured it, ate it up, finished it in a single day. So I would love to get another like mystery thriller where I get those feelings. I feel that vibe. So let me go ahead and pick a couple of books and have my kiddos pick a book for me. That'll be so fun. Be right back. Bixby picked our next read to add to the TBR. He went with Dear Debbie by Frida McFadden. This is her newest release. And this one I actually got at Marshall's. I am not usually a big books from Marshall's girl, but lately they've just been hitting so hard and they've had so many good books. So Bixby picked this one. The other options that I gave him were The Serial Killer's Guide to San Francisco. Yes, that one's what this one's called. Because I bought it like last year around April. So I'm like, it would be kind of nice to like take it off the TBR. Whatever, it's fine. And then I also gave him 2 of the books from my priority TBR for 2026. Survive the Night by Riley Sager and What Lies in the Woods by Kate Alice Marshall. So these were his other 2 picks. He's just not a hardcover boy. He doesn't like hardcover books. So I'm very glad that he went with Dear Debbie. I'm super excited to read it. And I can also binge a Frida McFadden book in like a day. Like they go so fast for me. So I would not be surprised if I finish that one super, super quick. Okay, so that was book 4. Yes, so we are halfway through picking the TBR and I'll go ahead and roll for prompt number 5. 4 and 5. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A romance. Okay, we like this, a romance. That sounds great. So our prompt was romance. I grabbed 3 romances that I feel like I want to read soon. 2 of them are from the Priority Spring TBR that I made. One of them's not. So we're going to do that one first. This first one is Caught Up by Liz Tomforty. This is the 3rd book in the Windy City series. So in this one, we're following Kai, who is a single dad MLB. Is MLB baseball? Baseball player. Yeah. And so he ends up hiring, I believe it's like his coach's daughter or something. I can't exactly. Yes. Yeah. Her dad is his coach. So Kai ends up hiring his coach's daughter to be a nanny for him while he's, playing sports ball. That is that one in a series we like. And honestly, after The Right Move, I'm absolutely obsessed and will go feral for any of the men in this series. So I think this might be a good pick. Next up, like I said, is 2 from my spring TBR that I'm really hoping to get to. And so this first one is A Not So Meet Cute by Megan Quinn. This one is part of the Kane Brothers series. And I believe that this one is basically about like rivals or enemy. What are they? Okay, so this one is like fake engaged slash marriage of convenience, I guess. But it is following Lottie and Huxley. Lottie was just fired by her arch nemesis from her job, and Huxley lied about being engaged to a customer. So they randomly bump into each other, decide to share a plate of chips and guac, which I guess random people do. I would not, but they did. And they unload all of their stuff on each other and decide we'll just be fake engaged. That'd be way easier. So this one is a contender. And then our other one is making an appearance again after pink cover. Yeah, that was the prompt. Pink cover was earlier. Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This one is a single dad nanny romance. So very similar vibes to Caught Up, but different. But I think I'm going with Caught Up. I think, is baseball season in April? When does baseball season start? I actually don't know anything, but I think it would be kind of fun to have a baseball romance, a little sporty thing. I love how this is like a perfect opportunity to get in my like seasonal TBR, and I'm just like, nah, nah, it's fine. I do this to myself. So that was book 5. Let's go ahead and roll for our prompt for our 6th pick. 4 and 6. 2, 3, 4, 6. Booktube recommendation. That is so fun. I feel like we've not gotten that one in a minute. So let me look at the shelves and see what books I've been seeing on Booktube recently. Okay, so I feel like I have a good selection for I had a good selection for the other ones, but I think this is my favorite little trio of options I've rounded up so far this whole TBR. So, first up from our spring TBR is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which I'm super, super excited about. I think it came out 3 years ago. But I feel like when it first came out, 2023. So yeah, like 3 years ago. I feel like when this first came out, this was literally like Booktube's darling. Like everyone was reading it, everyone was freaking out about it, everyone loved it. So this is option number 1. So I'm super pumped to have it on as an option. Like it might not be the book I pick, but it probably is gonna be the book I pick. Not gonna lie. The other books that I picked are actually both from my birthday haul in January. So they're pretty recent additions to the TBR. First up, we have Conform. This one is by Ariel Sullivan, and I believe it's dystopian and like a love triangle, like the girls between the leader of the bad guys and the leader of like the rebels. So that's a fun, cool one. And then our next one is Silver Cloak by L.K. Stevens. I don't really know a ton about this one. It has super cool edges, but I believe a girl is trying to become a silver cloak, and those are who like kill people. And she's basically trying to like avenge her family. Yes, Silver Cloak Academy, the training grounds of the city's most elite order of detectives. So she wants to bring down the people who killed her parents, which sounds super fun, sounds super cool, but I don't know. I think I'm just really excited for Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This one's so cute. So yeah, I think we're going to get this one for our 5th pick. 6th pick. So that was our 6th pick. Let's go ahead and roll for our 7th prompt. 1 and 6. 1, 6. TV or film adaptation. Okay. I feel like that one's kind of hard. TV or film adaptation. I feel like we have a ton of books that are like going to be, but they're not out yet. So we got book slash film adaptation, and I think I'm just gonna keep with my theme of Emily Henry's books. They're all getting made into movies right now, so I think I'm gonna go with this one. If I remember correctly, Book Lovers is the one that, what's her name from Bridgerton, Simone Ashley. I think she's going to be the main girl in this movie adaptation. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's her. So super excited for this one. That's really all I got. So that was our 7th prompt. So it looks like we are at 3 romances, 3 fantasies, and 1 mystery thriller. So let's see if we can maybe do another mystery thriller. I don't know, to like balance it a little bit more. 4 and 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Red on the cover. Okay, that one should not be too hard to get, a mystery thriller with red on the cover. Okay, feels a little bit like a cop-out to pick books that were already up for picking, but they were literally right there and they both have red on the cover. So I figured why not? So our first option is What Lies in the Woods by Kay Alice Marshall. This one is about, I believe it's a group of girls. I think there are like 3 or 4 of them that witness like a crime. Yeah, 3 of them. She's attacked. She survived with 17 stab wounds and identified the man who hurt her, but they were lying. One of the girls wants to tell the story and goes missing. Very interesting. So there's this one. And then our other option is Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This is one of the few Riley Sager books I have left to read. And he's pumping them out like every year. Like I'm pretty sure he has another one coming out very soon. So this one is also an option. I think I'm going with this one. I think I want Survive the Night. I know that I can read his books really quickly. This one's a super skinny legend. And also, I'm pretty sure it literally takes place in a single night. Yeah, 320 pages. This one takes place in, I believe, a single night in, I think it's like the 70s or 80s when a serial killer is on the loose. Yes. Yeah. So we'll go with this one. All right, so that rounds out our TBR. So let's go ahead and go over it super quick and then take our cute little picture for the thumbnail. So we have Survive the Night as our prompt for red on the cover. For a film or movie adaptation, I have Book Lovers by Emily Henry. For a booktube recommendation, I picked Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. For a romance book, I went with Caught Up by Liz Tomforty. For my pet picks, Bixby ended up picking Dear Debbie by Frida McFadden. For an author duo, I went with Duskbound by Greenwich and Lennox. Yes, that's their names. For pink on the cover, I went with Steel Princess by Rena Kent. Our first pick of the video was a purple cover, and I picked These Twisted Bonds. So here we have our book stack for our April TBR. Not the most spring TBR ever, but I did get a couple of my spring TBR books on here. Lots of sequels, a couple of mystery thrillers that I'm super excited about, so that'll be super fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I pick my TBR for April. And if you made it to the end of the video, go ahead and leave. What emoji are we thinking? Oh, wait, go ahead and leave. Is there like a scissor emoji? Did I make that up? So if you make it to the end of the video, go ahead and leave the scissor emoji for Dear Debbie and how she's cutting the head of the flower off in the cover. So yeah, leave the scissor emoji if you make it to the end, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! So we will go ahead and spin the dice, roll the dice. That's the phrase. Okay. So I have my dice. I'm going to go ahead and shake them. Why is the light like so dark? It's super dark. Should I do it on this side? Oh, hey, that's a little bit better. Okay, I think it's because I have like window light coming in. Okay. Oh, that means I'm going to have to like roll the dice with my left hand. And this one is the sequel to, what is that? Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to keep doing the board on this side. Because when it's on this side, the coloring's weird, right? Am I making that up? No, it's definitely causing like a weird shadow because of the window. Pink on the cover was our second words. And I already put a fantasy words. I feel like this, when it first came out, what, 3 years ago now? My cat just knocked over her food bowl. So, what the fuck was that? That was so loud. So, I'm pretty sure this takes place. I have hiccups. For, what was the prompt for this one? Booktube. For a booktube pick, I picked Emily Henry's book is here, girl. For an author duo, I went with Duskbound by Briar Greenwich. What are their names? Okay. Oh, my hair has got stuck. Okay. This pile got really tall really fast. Purple on the cover, and I went with These Faded Bond, or these, and I, so here we have our book stack. How do I get it more in frame? There we go. So yeah, leave a certain emoji.